You need to get your ass ready for 2024, you bikeaholics. All right, so we were guilty of this for a long time, and not anymore. You know, I'm not a big New Year's resolution guy. I just figure I've never actually made a New Year's resolution, and I'm 51. Reason is that when I want to do something, I just freaking do it whenever it feels right to do it. But hey, I know some of you are New Year's resolutions, so this should be your resolution going into 2024, and that's get hooked up, guys. You know, we're all prepared for a mechanical emergency or a mechanical situation, I should say, when we're out locally or especially riding cross country. We've been selling the Cruise Tools RTH3 kit for a lot of years, along with our other kits for metric bikes. We've got them all, but they're Cruise Tools over in the Law Abiding Biker store. You've seen it on our documentary films where we've actually had issues and pulled out our beloved Cruise Tools roll kits that are nice and tightly packed. So they don't take up much room, but have the essentials to get you back on the road so you don't have to call a tow for an unexpected or a minor breakdown, I should say. Get you back on the road, less interruption in your trip. Now, so with that said, the thing you should be prepared for in 2024 is something even more serious, and that is an emergency to somebody you're riding with in the form of an injury or if they go down. So we did it. We had been asked for a long time, guys, to bring this to the store. We've had it in there for a while. We sell the bejesus out of them. Do you know what the bejesus is, Bob?
A lot.
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly what the dictionary says. A lot. So we do move a lot of them, guys. Everybody is happy with them. We have nothing but awesome reviews in the Law Abiding Biker store. Tried and tested right here by the Law Abiding Biker crew. So let me tell you a little bit about it. So one thing we wanted when we got a first aid kit, before we just brought anything to our stores, we wanted to look it over. So the biggest thing is we wanted it to be compact. We wanted it to have just what you needed without overdoing it, because we want it to be very effective to treat injuries, but we wanted it to also be compact. And so we were able to do both of those. We feel like we nailed it. So this thing has everything you need without a bunch of extra stuff, but it does come with a plethora of different size bandages, gauze, compression dressing, medical tape, latex gloves, whistle, scissors, rescue blanket, and more importantly, a military tourniquet that can save a life. You got to have the tourniquet. If you guys don't know how to use one, watch a 2-minute video. They're super simple to use, but are saving a ton of lives. They've been using them for many, many years. And all these items are inside, like I say, a very tightly packed nylon MOLLE bag measuring 8x4x4. Best of all is, you know, our design kit is biker approved. And that's because it has our name and logo our name on the outside of the kit. This is not something you should have with you at all times, Bob, but a must have at all times. That's right. We have somebody special on the mic. I'll get to that. Get the Law Abiding Biker first aid and trauma kit in the Law Abiding Biker store. And if you end up using it and you're still alive, please send us a story about it. It'd be kind of hard to do if you're not alive. We hope you're okay, and we hope your life was saved, your injury, from the first aid and trauma kit. Looks like we got us an email here, Lurch, through in here. Why don't you handle this?
I got mail. Yay.
Yeah, it's a short and sweet one, but it's from Gary Riddenauer. He's a new patron member, and he's just wanted to say, I just want to thank you for the great and informative videos. Was excited to join the revolution and coming down to the meet in June. And just want to thank you for serving the community as a police officer. My dad is a retired officer, and I'm a retired firefighter. Funny how that works.
Very cool. Thank you very much, Gary. lawabidingbiker.com/contact is how he left that on our contact form. Our email, also over on that same page, again, lawabidingbiker.com/contact. You can leave a voicemail over there if you like, from anywhere in the world for free, right on your computer or smartphone device. We love the emails, of course. We love hearing your lovely voices too. He's talking about the June event. So since he mentioned that, we'll just go over this, guys. It is 2024 and it's coming up quicker. Lickety split. You know what lickety split is, Bob?
Fast.
Bob is nailing it today. God, he's so smart. All right. So lickety split. It'll be here before we know it. Now, there's a lot of events going on this year. We've talked about them on the podcast. This specifically, you can find out about all of them in the private patron member only Facebook group. Bob Dawson is here with us on a mic. He's a patron member, and you'll get access to all that stuff. This one is very specific, the June event. This is the one the Law Abiding Biker crew is going to be going on. We are not organizing this one. We are riding the coattails of patron member Russell Roberts. The biggest thing you need to do is head over. If you are interested in this event, you want to learn how to get signed up for it, what you need to do. You got to do it now. There is a deadline, but go over to lawabidingbiker.com/2024 meetup. All one word. That's /2024, the numbers, meetup, all one word. So no dashes, no spaces, nothing. And that's going to be the one we are going to. It's going to be, we're naming it the 2024 non-sanctioned Eastern U.S. Patron Meetup. Again, there's multiple others, but this is specific to this one. It's organized, like I say, by patron member Russell Roberts, who's been heavily involved in Law Abiding Biker media for many years and has organized past events. The date for this one, Saturday, June 8th, 2024. Meet location and time, Southwest Nashville, Tennessee area, mid-morning, around 1000 hours. It's a non-technical and shorter group ride. To the west of Nashville, Tennessee, early afternoon, about 1300 hours. There's a venue that's been rented by Russell Roberts and a catered meal that's going to be covered by yours truly here, Law Abiding Biker Media. No alcohol at this particular venue. It will end late afternoon, 5 or 6. We're not sure, just depends, but sometime late afternoon. Again, the official sign up and details and requirements, you must email patron member Russell Roberts at russelldeanroberts@gmail.com. That's Russell with 2 L's, deanroberts@gmail.com. No later than April 1st, 2024. That's coming quick, guys. And you must have a paid patron membership by this date. Any paid level is what they decided to do. So that's kind of cool. So get signed up as a patron member. Here's the deal. Confirmation. If you don't hear back from Russell after you sign up via that email, then something went terribly wrong. So you must try again. The reason is that you must be confirmed as a participant along with and vetted along with a patron membership verification to be emailed the exact details, which will be emailed just days before the event. So again, if you don't hear back from Russell, just hit him up again. Get in the private Facebook group. You can DM him there too. But yeah, and again, just one more time to get all those details again, that's all in one place for you. lawabidingbiker.com/2024 meetup. Bob, do you know yet? Is that something? That's a long ways. It's a long ways from here.
That's my busy time of year at work.
That's right. Yeah. I didn't even think about it. So that's a big no.
Correct.
Okay. Well, there's lots of other events going on. We've got the 2024 non-sanctioned patron meetup organized by Brad Johnston, Madras, Oregon, July 12th. No Host Bar at New Basin Distillery. Saturday, July 13th, 2024. There'll be a ride. So it's kind of a 2-day evening and ride followed by a barbecue and patron member at Brad Johnston's house. This one, you sign up in the private Facebook group. You can go in there to the event page and get signed up for that. And then last but not least is the Midwest non-sanctioned patron meetup organized by patron member Chris Lezak. Again, Ashland, Wisconsin area, July 30th and 31st, 2024. They have a block of rooms set up for July 30th and 31st. Dinner reservations are set for the 31st at the Alley Restaurant, which is right next to the hotel. There will be a ride through the backwoods, sounds fun, of northern Wisconsin, along with stops along Lake Superior, possibly a few surprise stops. This one, again, sign up in the private Facebook group at the events page. Those are all in there. And then we also hear, it's not confirmed. We'll get details to you later if that happens. But that one will be, or the Texas one. We're hearing that there might be a Texas one in the works. So that would be 4 frickin' all patron member set up and sponsored, basically.
Just looking at the patron only members Facebook group, I'm looking at the events. The last 2 years, the Texas one has been in October.
Okay.
So the fact that it's been 2 years in a row in October, I would anticipate that's probably what they're thinking of this coming year.
It's only 100 degrees there then.
Yeah, it's cooling down. It's cooling down by October.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. But lots going on. If you want to stay apprised of all of it, play by play, you got to be a patron member, mid-level or above, to get in that private Facebook group, which is blowing up here as it has for many years. But 2024, we're seeing addition of a lot of new members. So that's very, very cool. Want to ride longer, Bob? You tired of a sore and achy ass?
Oh, gosh.
Like I tell Lurch, just stop hanging out in the dark alleys after you've been drinking at the bar all night.
Good advice.
I like Bob. Just fix it with a high quality butt buffer seat cushion. We're talking about tired and achy ass on a motorcycle, guys. Good. I don't know what you're all thinking. It's ridiculous. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Check out our full line of butt buffer seat cushions. Lurch is just happy that it wasn't about him this time.
I know. Thank you.
Lurch loves it when other people come on the podcast. He gets a break, dude. Oh, God. Oh, yeah. Once you've used Rick Rack, you'll never go back. The ultimate motorcycle luggage rack solution. Forget those messy straps and bungee cords. Go strapless with a Rick Rack quick attach luggage system and quality bag. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store. Get hooked up now. I meant to mention that aside from the June event, we're not sure if we're going to the other 3 and possibly 4. We may. I would like to make, especially the West Coast one. We can't confirm that right now. A lot is going on behind the scenes here, and I have to attend a lot of events, and sometimes those events come up, and I have to prioritize is what I'm saying, what I'm doing here in 2024. But certainly if I'm free and it's something I can do, I would love to make more than just the June event, but I did want to throw that out there. Hey, Bagaholics, 03D has a wide variety of innovative products for your Harley-Davidson and a brand new line for the all-new Honda Goldwing named Gold Strike.
I like gold.
Top quality, affordable chrome lighting and comfort products. Zero Gold Strike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. Head over to lawabidingbiker.com/store and check out our full line of Zero 3D products. And lots more products coming to the Law Abiding Biker store. Feverishly working on that. Big things happening. That's all we can say. Big things. Bob's been down in the store. Bob painted the store. Took care of us down there.
It's looking good down there.
It is, huh?
Yeah, looks like a store.
It does. It looks like a legitimate store. Yeah, nicely said. So, Bob's been down there.
The outside's looking a little shabby.
We do.
Yeah,
Are we working on that?
Oh, yeah. I was just talking about that
Okay.
with him while we're waiting for you to get back here, was that hopefully this spring, summer, we can fit into his schedule and get it done. We got some big expenses coming up. So once I kind of get that all figured out, work with Bob and get that outside done.
Yeah, Bob's been front row seat to find out how much Lurch takes care of my life and business that I have no idea like that. I have to ask Lurch, are we painting the store? Bob found out Lurch is the man when it comes to operations, and then I'm editing video and doing all the other crazy stuff I do. So, yeah, well, it looks nice. I just want to say, and if y'all don't remember, Bob, when we first built the studio here many years ago, Bob painted his company, Sun, painted this thing completely for free labor. And so we're forever thankful for that. Did you notice I haven't painted the window sill yet?
Oh, on the shop side?
Yeah.
I always look at it when you guys are out there. It looks a slightly different color, and it just bugs the heck out of me.
I know, and he said it. It's on the to-do list.
Ask
him why it hasn't happened.
Because I haven't done it?
Correct.
I thought your wife was going to do it at one time,
right? She was going to pick a color, and then that went by the wayside.
Well, there's the color is already here.
Well, what do you think? She was thinking and tell me this, she was thinking like a darker,
so for the audience
black
listening, there's a window between the shop and the podcast area, and it's got slats in it, for lack of a better word. It's got some black.
You've seen it in all the videos. Yeah.
Slats in there. And so the decision was to maybe match that. That's
what she was thinking. What do you think, Bob?
I'm going to stand with, we already have a trim color.
Okay. So
what about the other side?
I don't know.
Should it be the same, or can you go black on the other side? We have a trim color.
No, say it. We want to know.
Why don't you go black?
Oh, yeah. Oh, gotcha. Okay. You going there. I don't know. So you say we just paint it white? Is that the dealio?
The off-white that we already had that. Hopefully it's still out here so we know what color it is.
Yeah, it's underneath. I know right where it is.
Because I have no file on this project.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, this trim's not painted either. I believe that's just the standard color. So we need to paint the trim on the inside and the outside.
Correct.
Both sides.
Right.
Yeah. It's on the list.
Okay. There you go. Sorry, Bob, it bugs you in our videos. I do it just to bug you. Actually, when I intro videos from now, I'm going to go and see the trim behind me. It's pissing Bob off. We're going to leave it like that forever. Oh my God.
I'll sneak out here.
What? Go ahead.
I'll sneak out here and put some arrows.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, no doubt. No, paint some arrows. Welcome back, you freaking bikeaholics. This is the podcast for the motorcycle majority, the Big MM, also known as the
99%.
That's right. Large and in charge of the motorcycle scene more than any time in history by being here, by listening. You're part of what we call the hashtag
Biker Revolution.
We do have just one question before we get started. What are you waiting for, bikeaholics?
Mount up and let us take you on another wild-ass ride.
Ryan Urlacher here, your host of the Law Abiding Biker Podcast, and your
high-tech redneck.
There you go. All right, so we got an awesome episode for you guys. A couple things we're going to be talking about. Main topic is we've got Bob Dawson. He's been on episodes in the past. We already gave him a little introduction there, painting the studio. He's painted the store. Well, he had a recent issue on his Milwaukee-Eight. It's an oil sumping issue. And so we're going to dive in deep. He learned a lot. I had seen him down at the local dealership a few times when I was in there for my police bike, and we got talking about some stuff, and I'm like, this is actually really going to help the community. And that's what I wanted to do. That's what we're all about here, is we have somebody that has firsthand knowledge of having to deal with this and kind of what he went through, how it came about, what the determinations were, and then the process. Not only dealing with dealership, but the mothership and everything in between. So we've got a lot to talk about with Bob. So we appreciate you, Bob, coming in and hanging out with us here on this afternoon, this snowy, cloudy, rainy afternoon.
Typical Eastern Washington weather this time of year, low clouds and fog.
Yep.
Yum.
It's just, it makes you look forward to the sunny days because it's just, maybe that's why I'm so tired today.
Could be.
I have been working hard, but still, I'm just, the weather doesn't help
not at all.
With your energy level.
That's why I can imagine people live in Seattle and like that type of gray
they don't
cover. For those that don't know Washington, Western Washington can be quite gray and cloudy. Eastern Washington, we get 300 plus days of sun. So us people that crave the sun, like to be outside in Eastern Washington, we hate days like this. They're depressing.
And a lot of those people,
I have less energy.
They don't know any better.
No.
You know what I mean? Like we know better.
Right.
But you got to wonder if some of those people just born and raised and they just don't realize there's a better life. And you can just stay over there.
Yeah,
for all us Eastern Washington, we love all our West Side listeners, okay? But you can have it. You can have your Western Washington over there. We'll stay out of there. You stay out of here. We're good. We love you, West Siders. Okay. So new free video alerts wants to talk about. We're always releasing new free videos. We got a ton in the works.
This one's called The First Safety Mod I Do to All Harleys. In particular, we're talking about extended brake pedals. It puts that brake pedal in a much more comfortable and safe position. So you can go to the show notes. You can find a link to that. Check it out. We're selling them like hotcakes.
What's selling like hotcakes? Could it be flapjacks?
It could be.
All right. Means fast. And to expand on that a little bit, that's a video, all the videos I say, go watch. This one really, it's kind of a long time coming for me to talk about it. It's just, we have a long list of videos I'll never get through in 3 lifetimes, but this one came up and we prioritized it. But it is a safety issue, guys, that stock brake pedal. This episode isn't about it, so I'm not going to go into why. It's a safety issue and it's an ergonomic issue, even if you're normal sized. It's one of the first things that I do. I do it to police bikes. I do it to regular, my regular bike. Anyways, if you want to know why and some of the safety issues with that and why you're so uncomfortable, once you experience this and you get one and you put it on, you'll ride every other Harley and go, this sucks. I don't know how you ride this way. And you'll wonder how you did it for so many years. But head over and see that video. I explain why. And then, of course, it's a full, detailed install tutorial. It'll take you about 45 minutes at the most. Basic tools, No need to take it to a dealership. All you got to do is pick it up from us, from the Law Abiding Biker Store. We'll link to it in the show notes. We'll link to not only the video, but the product, because on the product page at the bottom is our full video and install tutorial. That's what you get here at Law Abiding Biker Media. When you buy a lot of products, you get a completely free, super detailed install video. So all you have to do is purchase the part and not pay a dealership to do that. So,
and I would just add, it's for the 2014 and newer bikes. It's an issue that really came up with the Rushmore design. The brake pedal is just too high and too far back. So those of you with older bikes, I believe there's companies out there that make it, but in particular, this pedal's made for the 2014 and newer.
Yep. I remember that. I had my 2013 police bike that I rode daily, and it was great. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, I got my 18 when that one retired, and I was like, what in the hell? Well, my 14 Street Glide Special had it, but I thought all the police bikes were going to keep coming with the safer, better, but they didn't. They changed those two. So it's definitely, like Lurch says, a 14 and on issue. So we love our sponsors, of course, but these patron members, we got one right here in the studio, are the reason this episode and every episode previous for the last 11 freaking years have been coming at you. So these are some of our newest patron members that we want to thank. You want to thank them, patron member to patron members?
How about Mark Smith of Kylene, Texas, Stacy Peters of Fredericksburg, Virginia, and Lee Kibbe of Kansas.
There you go. lawabidingbiker.com/Patreon, Patreon. Pledge a certain amount per piece of content. No risk to you because you can put a monthly cap. We understand those monthly budgets. There are a plethora of benefits for signing up, such as t-shirts and stickers. You get access to the private Facebook group, Troll Free Zone, Nothing But Bikers, helping and connecting with other bikers in there. It has become its own motorcycle forum. And like a lot of the events, like we said, are going on in there. You get access to podcasts like this early. It's going to be uploaded immediately into the back end of your Patreon account. So you don't have to wait months for it to come out. You get access to live video broadcasts and chat, access to premium videos upon request for all you top tier, and access to those ride, meetup, and events. And we certainly appreciate each and every one of you considering becoming a patron member here in 2024. And the 4 rides, if those aren't benefits enough, there's a lot of other just people hooking up in there that they aren't like necessarily events, but just like a weekend ride, or if you're riding through an area, you can get housing, lodging, meals. I mean, whatever. It's bikers in there helping bikers. And so we've seen a lot of that where somebody's like, yeah, stay here. I got an extra room and we'll hook up for the weekend or whatever, guys. I truly believe it's the largest online biker community on the interwebs as far as that type of stuff going on with people that you can trust. And it's a trusted community, troll-free zone, so you don't have to worry about any of that. And just a place you can go to chat or get help. A lot of bikers that know a whole bunch more than us are in there, and they'll help you with technical issues and things that they've had. And there's no dumb question in there. I've never seen somebody shot down. I don't think you guys have either.
No.
Just the people are in there, want to be in there. It's a good community. There's a reason, it's a paid community whenever and that's why it's not free, because you get riffraff, unfortunately, when it's free, and we want it to be solid. It's heavily monitored, but we don't really, we don't kick people out. The people know the rules, and they're there because they want to be. And everybody in there's got the right attitude. And so, no better time than 2024. So let's mention this real quick. We won't spend a lot of time on it, but do you want to talk a little bit about this, Lurch? Other stuff that 24 is shaping up to be busy already. So
this just the info just came out on it. It's Harley Davidson's Homecoming Festival, and if you remember, Ryan and I went to it last year. It was the 120th anniversary, and at that festival, Harley announced that they're going to do it every year. I think they're trying to rival Sturgis, that type of thing. They want to have a deal where everybody comes home to the place where Harley was born. So it is July 25th through 28th, 2024 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This year, they're honoring the legacy of Willie G. Davidson at their annual Homecoming Festival. They're going to celebrate his life, his passions, his bodies of work, and his impact on the motorcycle culture as we know it today. They'll be doing a bunch of concerts at Veterans Park. We got to go to a couple of those. That's a hoot. But the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Jelly Roll, Hardy, The Offspring, Warren, Ziders, Cypress Hill, and others. Of course, you can go to the HD Museum as well. They have several events and things, not to mention just the tour there. And something that is new, they now have what they're calling Davidson Park. It's a park at the Juneau Complex. So if you can be, since it's brand new, you can be among the first to experience the new venue, an outdoor community hub. It's called Davidson Park, as I mentioned before. They're going to have food, music, vintage motorcycles, in addition to outdoor activities. And the first 1,000 tour attendees each day receive an exclusive Juneau Avenue historical tour coin. So if you like to, collect the Harley Davidson gadgets, they'll have that. And then, of course, you can do the powertrain operation plant tours. A lot of fun.
Yeah. And Lurch will put a link in the show notes where you can get signed up and get tickets for that. HarleyDavidson.com. Well, I'm sure there's a direct link.
I'll put the actual link.
Yeah. There would be an actual link, folks. It sounds fun, and I'm glad they're doing this every year. We did get to go to the 120th. It was a hoot, and I'm hoping that I'll get invited down there again later, especially to experience this new park and stuff. So we'll see as the year goes on. I may or may not be there, but it sounds like a lot of fun. All right. So let's get into the main topic today. So, Bob, let's just roll it back and give me an idea of how this first presented itself mechanically and kind of what you noticed and all that.
Well, I noticed several symptoms.
Tell us your bike first, what we're talking about here.
I have a 2021 Road Glide Special.
Okay.
Billiard blue, right?
Billiard teal.
Sorry. Isn't teal blue? It's a beautiful color.
It is.
I really like it. I was gonna purchase the Midnight Crimson until I saw the billiard teal sitting next to it, and that quickly changed my mind. It's really nice color.
So for the setup, I'm running a Milwaukee-Eight 114.
Correct.
Stock.
No.
It's been done to it. I want to set this up so people kind of know what we're dealing with here.
I have an intake, high flow intake. I've changed the intake manifold from the plastic one. I've got cam in it. I have a torque cam in it.
What brand?
Woods.
Okay.
Yeah. Oscar really likes the Woods. I know that.
Yeah, it's the X22. It was their first torque cam.
Okay.
They have since modified them, but it works great. And I've taken some internal plastic parts and replaced them with aluminum for better reliability while we've torn into it a couple of times. And transmission's been rebuilt after that, grenaded. But other than that, it's stock.
Did you do an oil pump when you did the cam?
I did an oil pump and the cam plate. Mm-hmm. I'll talk about that when we get a little bit farther down. Yeah, S&S. Yeah. Okay,
S&S. Who did the work from the cam and the cam plate and all that?
There's times of the year when I have more money than time.
Yes, and our video wasn't done either, and I apologize for that.
Yeah, I asked about that.
I know it hasn't. It's on a hard drive.
Well, maybe on my next bike I'll take advantage of that. I took it into my local dealer, and they did a fantastic job. And I always learn when I take it down there what's going on.
Yeah.
Learn a little bit.
Okay. Being that you're here in town and we have a lift there, if there's something that we could work together on, let me know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. We're always looking for projects.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We do have a full cam install on a Milwaukee-Eight. Y'all probably saw the Instagrams and everything. And we have a lot of videos on hard drives that I just got to prioritize, but I do want to get that one out. That's going to be a smashing video. Man, we did that whole project and we filmed it the way we do it. Very detailed. Anyways, coming soon to a theater near you. So we got a cam. We've done some things through it. Milwaukee-Eight. So then, all right. So now we have the setup. So now tell me what starts happening. Is this after cam? After all
this was after the cam. I believe the symptoms were showing up before that. Okay. I didn't tell you I have a full exhaust header system as well. Tab performance. Took out the went with the exhaust header without the cat because it was hot. Mm-hmm. It was burning the inside of my thigh to the point where I wanted off when I was riding in town. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you get that a lot of work. That's my line to my wife. I get that a lot of work. Anyhow, I noticed the engine was running hotter than normal, not only when I would stop in town and feel it, but I mean just running at 30, 35, 40 miles an hour, it felt like there was a lot of heat coming off that thing. That was my major first symptom that got me thinking, hey, this isn't right. I just took out the cat, cooled it off by running, putting a new tune in it and whatnot. And so I felt that was unusual. Took note of it, kept riding. Noticed my gas mileage was down considerably. I mean, I was filling up when I was like, well, I should have half a quarter of a tank left, Another thing, after it kept getting worse and worse and worse. It started out also with sluggish upon throttle cracks, and you just would bog down and then pick up speed slowly. Mm-hmm. Felt fairly normal if I was rolling on the throttle smoothly, but it was still lacking. It felt like I was losing torque. It just wasn't snappy like I felt it should be and like it was when I first put the cam in. I started checking the oil all the time, just during my rides and stuff, and I was getting erratic oil levels. Sometimes they were swinging a half-ish quart, up and down on my dipstick. So I just kept checking it more and more and more. And then I noticed more oil was coming out of my external breather. I have an external breather on it. I'm a big believer in that. I was getting, instead of a nickel or dime sized spot of oil on my garage floor after my bike had set after riding for a while, I was getting silver dollar sized, drips of oil on my garage floor. So that's when I started looking around to figure out for sure whether or not I was sumping. So I went onto YouTube and looked, and I discovered a engine builder back east, Kevin Baxter's Garage, and he had 3 videos out that were regarding sumping on a bike he was working on. And he went through the whole thing. If you don't know who Kevin Baxter Garage is, you should check him out. He's a really awesome engine builder. He's super good at describing everything that he does, and he shows it to you as he's doing it. So it's a really good guy.
Can we back it up here just a little bit? So number one, we didn't mention, we did a very detailed episode. We're going to talk about it a little bit here, but we're going to keep it a little bit an overview because we did a whole episode. That was lawabidingbiker.com/250, episode 250. It is super detailed. Oscar was here. And we also did show notes that are very, very detailed. So if you go to lawabidingbiker.com/250, oil sumping is different than oil transfer.
Which I get confused sometimes. Yeah.
So we have a whole nother one on oil transfer. We did a very detailed episode on that too, with very detailed notes that breaks these two apart and what you need to look for, just like we're talking about. What Bob just said is everything I said in that episode about symptoms and things that are going to start happening.
I was looking at the symptoms as he's talking, and he hit every one of them that we have.
So let's highlight the symptoms, what people should be looking for without explaining them too much. Go ahead and go over them, Lurch.
Excessive blowback out of your crankcase breathers. Bob's is external, meaning he's routed them outside the air filter, so his drips either into a catch can or into the environment, depending on what type of
he probably breathes goes into his mouth. He's got a little hose.
It keeps my back tire lubed.
Yeah,
that's true.
Apparently,
it may. Yeah, absolutely. More common is just your normal, intake where the crank breathers vent into your air filter. So if you got the blowback, then it goes into the filter and catches it, and that may saturate your filter and start dripping down your side of your motor. So definitely something to look out for. the less powerful, especially on a hot day, which you were mentioning, especially from takeoff. And the just the poor engine performance. Yeah.
Yep. Did you notice, Bob, was this on short rides or was it when you were putting down a lot more miles at high RPM?
It didn't really matter that much.
Okay.
And it continuously got worse.
Okay.
So all the symptoms I saw started out small, and I was kind of probably ignoring them. I'm getting fatter. I'm getting slower. I'm getting stupider,
Yeah, right.
And
Welcome to the club.
Whereas the oil transfer, we've learned that sometimes on those longer rides where you get everything churned up and the vacuum going, that it can migrate that oil over. I know I'm talking about two separate things, right? So that problem was on the longer rides versus the sumping. Yeah.
No, sumping was on longer rides at high RPM.
Is that what?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because the oil can't get back.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I told you, I get it backwards all the time.
That's why I was yeah. No, it's exactly sumping.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
When your bike is sumping, there's so much oil down there, the oil is getting cavitated by the crank.
It's getting frothed.
Yeah, and that's not a good thing because that
stays
just
down, right?
It compounds everything that's going on.
Yep. And once it froths, it can't get back through the oil pump. It just compounds the problem.
See, I told you I was getting
I know.
backwards.
We're here to school you.
Every time I bring that up, I'm like, no, it's the higher. Yeah, okay, great. I'm glad you guys fixed it.
It's a confusing subject, the difference between the two of them, the transfer.
Well, if there was just one problem, it'd be easier to understand. But then they
right.
got two problems, so it's like, which one are we talking about here?
Exactly.
But thank you for cleaning it up, Ryan. I appreciate that.
Did you guys note that I was getting erratic oil levels?
Yes.
On your
Thank
video.
you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, we talked about it on the podcast that you could be down a quart and you don't know where it went. And it's not outside your bike. It's you don't know where it went, and that's because it's in the bottom of your mouth, right? It's stuck.
It kind of freaked me out because I'd be low, and I know I just checked it before the ride, and it was fine. I run it halfway between full and empty. That's just the way I learned how to do it. So that's what I do.
And you're not smelling it burn. You're not seeing it other than coming out of the breathers a little bit.
What will happen though is guys who aren't familiar with oil sumping will then start dumping oil in every trip. And now they're up 2 quarts and 3 quarts. And there's only so far you can do that. And then you're going to have a lot of other problems.
Yeah. I started doing that a little bit.
Okay.
And then I said, no, this is wrong, because before I'd ride, I'd check it and it'd be at full. And I'm going, no, I run it halfway down, I run it a half quart low-ish.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that'll get you. Especially when you start getting paranoid about everything, you're checking those oil levels during the ride, getting gas.
Yeah. Now, you said something about off mic. This started with a transmission issue. Should we back up there or not? I'm going to let you take it in the direction you want.
My motorcycle I love, but it is cursed. I was riding my bike. Well, prior to that, I changed the oil at 500 miles when it was brand new. When I popped the transmission plug, I wasn't really looking, but out of the corner of my eye, I didn't see oil. I saw a silver stream going down into my oil catch can. And that drew my attention to it. And by that time, there was chunks on the top of my black oil catch can that were aluminum. What happened was there's 6 retaining bolts on the outside of the transmission. There's either 4 long ones or 4 short ones. What we figured out down at our local Harley dealer was that they put a long screw in a short hole, realized what they did, backed it out, put it back in the way it was supposed to go, and sent it down the line, knowing that Bob was going to get the bike, and it really wouldn't matter.
Yeah, I remember you talking about this. Dang, man.
So I showed our tech at our local Harley-Davidson dealer and showed him some chunks of aluminum, talked to him about what I saw coming out of the transmission, and he said, I can't fix it till it breaks. Go break it. Mm-hmm. So about a week later, I was going up to Ellensburg through the canyon. There's a stoplight underneath I-82 there. Once you get into Ellensburg, dropped it down into first gear. Light turns green. I go to shift into second, nothing. Wouldn't shift. It was stuck in first gear. So I pulled into the shade because it was a nice hot day and turned it off and sat there and said a couple prayers and cried for my mommy.
Some expletives.
No expletives that day. I was praying that I was not going to have to call a tow truck.
Yeah. We'd have came up and got you on the trailer. You know that. You got help down here. You wouldn't have to pay. But anyways.
Now I know.
Just call my chief operations officer. He'll hook you up.
Yeah, the trailer's usually at my house. Give me a call.
I've got your number.
Yep.
What was it? Oh, and so I pulled off there, and I said to myself, I'm not riding home in first gear at 15 miles an hour, whatever it may be. And if I can't get this thing into second gear, I am going to have to call a tow truck. So it took me a half an hour of wrench. I was pulling up and down as hard as I could on that thing to try to get it in second gear because I knew I could do 30 miles an hour comfortably and get home. About a half an hour of doing that, it made this horrible clunking noise. It just sounded like I broke it. And I started it up. Hey, it's in second gear. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Drove all the way home on the shoulder of the road, 30 miles an hour through a slightly congested country road, or Yakima Canyon.
Yeah.
And it was a Monday, so I said, well, I'll just run down to our local Harley dealer and see what they got to say about it. And finally get it in. I broke it. Well, they're not open on Mondays.
That's right.
Nice.
That's right. They're closed Sunday,
Mondays.
Mondays.
Yeah, I just got kicked again.
So what did that have to do with, you said that had to do with the oil sumping or a connection?
Not a damn thing. My bike is cursed.
That was just the beginning of his journey.
Okay, that was the beginning of your journey. Okay, I thought you had said something about...
And I wasn't listening exactly with the longer bolts. Did they put the longer ones in the wrong spot?
There's either 4 short ones and 2 long ones, or 2 long ones and 4 short ones.
But they put the long ones in the short holes and it stuck in too far inside the tram.
Oh, that's what she said.
One.
Yeah, they put one in, and it happened to be the one that was associated with third gear, so it was the front top one. I don't remember exactly. I've tried to block it out of my mind. Has nothing to do with sumping.
No, but I wanted to hear about it.
The transmission is totally separate.
So we got that done. Now we're having these new issues. So,
gotcha.
All right. So you obviously were aware. Obviously, you listened in detail, episode 250. I appreciate that. No, I don't know. But you were at least aware enough of the sumping. You did some internet research, and you're like, okay, I probably have sumping. So where'd you go from here?
One of the things I came across was the Fueling Auto Parts had come out with a short sump plug to replace the long sump plug in the bottom of the crank. What their theory was that...
Explain to the folks what a sump plug is.
The sump plug is something that the average guy is not supposed to touch.
Mm-hmm.
It has got pipe threads. It's critical that you don't screw it in too far. You don't want to strip that threads out. I got lectured twice by our local Harley mechanic on removing that. 2 lectures on that.
What does it do? I know what it does. I'm just trying to help the audience here.
The long one, due to the variances in the cases, the long one can stick up too far and impede the oil from going into the oil pump that's on the other side, mounted to the other side of the case.
Right. Overall, what is the sump plug for? If you're not supposed to touch it and it's there.
You can completely drain your crank.
Correct.
It's the lowest part on the crank.
Yes.
And quite
it's
often
there for certain reasons that, the question would be audience. If I was an audience member and I didn't know, I'd be like, well, then why is it there if we're not supposed to do anything with it? Well, it's there for the very specific purpose. There's a couple purposes, but one we're going to talk about, which when you want to find out if you're oil sumping, this would be one of them, right?
I was told twice, and I still have marks on the back of my head not to do that.
Right.
But
they do it.
I'm not a Harley mechanic.
Right. But they're going to do it.
I play one at home, though.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we do too.
Anyhow.
Well, but they're going to use it. The mechanics are going to use that, right?
He doesn't, our guy down there at our local dealer doesn't touch it too much either.
Okay.
Because there's no reason to.
Okay.
He said.
Well, then why is it there? I thought it was there so they could take a sample.
You're supposed to use the crank position sensor, which is directly in front of it and probably a quarter inch higher and is much easier to deal with.
That's what okay. And I know they did that to take samples because they took a sample out of one of our police bikes. So it's there, you can use it, but even Harley mechanics are just going to the crank sensor.
It sounds to me that you need to be it's best to be a certified mechanic and know how to set it so that you don't insert it too far.
That'll be next week's video. There we go. Told not to do it.
The funny thing is you look up underneath there and you go, well, that must be the drain plug. And
right. No, we specifically in our videos were like, do not touch this
one. Yeah. And it's got some pretty good torque on it, if I remember right, or it's got sealant or whatever. It doesn't come out terribly easy.
Yeah. Maybe that was another thing wrong with my bike. It came out pretty easy.
Oh, did it? Okay.
See what he's saying. He was lectured multiple times not to do that because he had done it. Yeah.
Once a week, I take it out and put it back in.
Clean it, shine it, put it back in, make sure it looks good.
Polish it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they'll take the crank sensor, right? Position sensor, and drain it there.
That's where they check for sumping.
Yes.
That's what I did after I got 2 lectures and put the short sump plug in.
Not to do it right. Yeah, right. Okay. So.
But you're right. I do see that it helps, according to Fueling, reduce the sumping because then it's not blocking the internal case scavenging pickup hole, is what they say.
That's what they say, and they show it on there. They got a split case, and it shows with the factory one, it can go up 2 or 3 threads, which didn't look like it was doing that much to me. But at that point in time, I was like, for $15, I'll find out.
Yeah, it looks like the difference in them is a little short of a 1/4 inch. The shorty's a little shorter.
What are you talking about?
The sump plug.
The sump plug.
A little bit shorter.
For what?
So it doesn't go in as far and then block.
It's a different plug?
It's a shorter plug so that it's not
And who's selling that?
Fueling is.
Okay.
But there's
I was just trying to do some research.
There's other companies as well, but Fueling's all over the interwebs here. But there are
so it's supposed to
selling it.
Let your oil flow freer.
Well, what it says here is
essentially
it eliminates blocking the internal engine case scavenge pickup hole.
Right. So basically they're saying Harley put one in that's plugging it.
That's in the way. Yeah, it's
right.
Too tall,
that's what they're saying by making a product for that.
It's potentially blocking the hole a bit.
I'm not sure about that, but
Harley is not making that part, not making the short sump plug. Aftermarket companies make it. The reason that they have a problem and the reason that they made the short one is because of the differences in the cases. I guess they're cast, and in the castings there can be small differences.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, if they accidentally run it up too far, I mean, you can run it up all the way inside your crankcase.
Right. I'm sure there's specifications not to do that.
Yeah.
Did you do that?
No.
Bob just says, I just kept turning until it wouldn't stop.
It was
bottom. Good and tight. I torqued it good and tight.
Yeah. No, I watched the video from Fueling. It really explained it well, and they showed you what to do, basically.
For their aftermarket one.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
They do a good job. They did a good job showing us what to do, much as the same that you guys do. So.
Oh, good. Nice. Yeah. Lurch, you want to do this real quick?
Absolutely. Hey, bikeaholics, searching for new and exciting motorcycle products? Zero 3D has a product you dream about for your bike. Check out their wide variety of innovative products for Harley Davidson and Honda Goldwing motorcycles. Zero 3D's got your back with chrome and black parts, lighting, and other comfort products. No modifying, cutting, grinding, or welding for an easy installation that equals less time installing and more time riding. Zero 3D has a design team with riders of over 40 years of experience with a passion for design and innovation. Zero and Gold Strike are the motorcycle LED lighting innovators for CAN bus plug-and-play system compatibility. They pride themselves on great customer service. Got a question? Get in touch with them via email at sales@zero3d.com or give them a call at 715-808-0027. Check at your local Harley or Honda dealership and ask for Zero or Gold Strike parts. A new leader has emerged, so check out Zero 3D's custom line of Gold Strike products for the all-new Honda Goldwings. Better yet, help support us and head on over to the Law Abiding Biker store and check out our full line of Zero 3D products.
All right, so you go into the dealership at this point, I'm assuming, after you put the plug back in and turn it too many times. All right, I'm teasing. All right, so you put the plug back in properly and it didn't do shit, right? Take me from here.
What I did when I took out my factory sump plug did the test. You know, you're supposed to have 2 to 4 ounces of oil in a dry sump system. So when they take that out of there, I'm always going to be because I do it for the audience. Like if somebody doesn't know, so basically what they'll do to check for sumping is they're going to remove that sensor and they should get up to 2. If they get more than 2 ounces of oil, there's a sumping issue, right? 4.
More than 4 is what that specification comes from the Harley mothership. They're basically, we're going to get into some of this, and Bob knows a lot more about it than me, but talking to the head mechanic down there, because one of our police bikes we thought was sumping, and it wasn't. There was another issue that I found and fixed it. But they're basically, they pulled our crank sensor and he sent me a picture of it, texted me, says only 2 ounces came out. I go, okay, well, we've put 2 more quarts in that bike than it's supposed to have. And he goes, and they said the same thing to us. And I told the guy, I go, I guess we'll just keep putting it until it blows up. Yep. Sounds good. And unfortunately, this is the position that dealerships are in. The Harley mothership isn't going to activate anything for the dealerships to fix it if it's not completely, to a certain extent, like the transmission, right? Go blow it up. But the sumping, if they find more than 4, they'll take action.
Correct.
Supposedly.
I might add slowly.
Yeah, well, we're going to get into all this. This is great stuff to know.
Anywho, I took out that sump plug.
I have no idea what you're showing.
So this is the sump plug.
Lurch is showing us a picture on his laptop.
I'm showing Ryan a cutaway of the motor the bottom of the motor so he can see it, where the sump plug goes in and how it would block the scavenger plug hole. It's if the plug was going up through the bottom too far,
right,
then it could restrict flow to the.
I gotcha.
Yeah,
Roger.
That may or may not. You can tell right there that there is variances in the crank, because on the fueling website, or on the fueling video, that you could see the threads on the back side of the case where they drilled, and it made threads on the back side of the case as we're looking at it. That one looks completely flat at the bottom, like it should be.
Okay.
So if you used a long plug, the factory plug on that one, there's no way any threads would come up.
Did you take your fueling plug back out and send it back and say it didn't do shit? Give me my money back.
Yeah, my $12.
Is that all it is? Is that all it is? Okay, well, at least
probably $15 to ship it.
At least, right.
We don't talk about that.
At least it's reasonable. All right, so where are we going from here? You're at the dealership. We're talking to people yet?
No, I took out my factory plug. I put a 16-ounce container below it, and it overflowed it.
That's from your factory sump plug, not the sensor
That was
plug.
my first test to rightfully see if my motor was sumping. I took out that long factory plug because I had the short one in my hand.
Gotcha, yep.
Now's as good a time as any to do it. Took it out. I marked 4 ounces on the thing. I marked 8 ounces on the thing, and it was a 16-ounce container.
And it filled it?
It filled it and went on my garage floor, and I was like, that's a problem.
That is a problem. So whether you take the crank sensor out or the actual sump plug, the rule is more than 4 ounces.
I believe.
Okay. All right.
It might be
We're
6.
sticking to that. Because there should be more.
You want to see 2.
There should be more that comes out of the sump than the crank, technically speaking. It's a little bit lower.
Maybe a 1/4 inch lower. So,
yeah.
Anyhow, I repeated that test again, and it was something I taught.
How long?
How long? Well,
between. Yeah.
I went and wrote it again. And you do the test by, you write it, you bring it home, you put it upright, not on the Jiffy stand, and you test it in the upright position. Tested it again, and it filled up that 16-ounce container and kept flowing to the point where I was like, oh crap, stick the thing back in there. I've got a big mess getting bigger. So it was more than, I would say 20 ounces or so or more.
Wow.
The second time I checked it. The first time I checked it, it was 17, 18 ounces, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
Couldn't measure it after 16.
Yeah,
that
right.
was the top.
That already proved itself that you have an issue.
Yeah.
So somewhere after 6, you stop caring. After 16, you really stop caring. You're like, this is a problem.
I started panicking at that point in time. And oil out of a hot engine that you just is really hot.
Yeah, right. Trying to get a plug back in. I've done that. That sucks. Yeah.
Yeah. So I called, I have a friend back east that has a biker garage, and it's called A Biker's Garage. And he told me, and we talked about something, and I told him what was going on, and he said, yeah, you have a problem. And he said the first week the M8 engines come out, they had 3 bikes come in that were sumping. And they were continually seeing them at various times, the old oil pump prior to 2020, and with the new oil pump, which is in my bike, being a 21. And his last words before he hung up the phone was Harley Davidson denies sumping. Mm-hmm. And that was the theme when everybody I talked to, Harley Davidson denies that this is happening. even though we've got evidence
Right.
from all over the United States.
That's what the attorney said to say.
Right.
Yeah.
Contacted my local dealer, took it down, and talked to the head mechanic there, who is the only mechanic.
He is the only certified Harley mechanic down there right now.
Mm-hmm. Talked to him, told him that I removed the sump plug, and that was the wrong thing to say to him.
What are you doing?
I love telling him stuff like that. That's fun shit, though.
Yeah, but I like his honesty. He'll tell you
Straight
up.
What are you doing, Urlacher?
What are you doing?
With a straight face, he tells you, and he doesn't break eye contact, and you're shrinking, and you're embarrassed because he amps up his volume so everybody around you can hear. That was my first lecture. He continued to lecture me again, and anyhow, he was very upset that I removed the plug, and he trained me on how not to do that again.
Yes, next time you just won't tell him. That's what I do. Just don't tell.
The only time I take my bike down there is when I've messed something up and don't know what the hell to do. And
that
then
would be me.
I get the lecture. Yeah. He goes, "Oh God,
yeah,
what is he here for?
Yeah, yeah.
What do I got to fix now? And what's the lecture going to be?" Anywho, took my bike in, had an appointment for it to be taken in to take it looked at. 3 weeks later, I gave him a call and asked him if they had done anything to it. And he said, it's on the lift.
Mm-hmm.
So finally they did the test, and it was...
so 3 weeks later, they finally do the 5-minute project.
Yeah.
Right. To find out if it's sumping, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm. We were going to run this through as a warranty. I believe my bike was out of warranty a little bit, so kudos to our local dealer for doing whatever the heck they did to talk Harley Davidson into doing, it ended up being a warranty replacement, but at the time they were calling it a recall. I said to myself, I don't care what you call it. I don't have $4,000 to fix this bike that I just bought.
Right.
That was, it was in the shop for almost 3 months fixing the tranny, during riding season. Anyhow,
did they obviously give you no gruff on the stage kit with the cam because they had done it, or did they try to make issue of that?
They did not plug in to the mothership computer.
Gotcha.
They knew that not to do that because they were the one that put it in there.
Right.
He was talking about getting...
Because it's not Screaming Eagle. So, right?
Correct.
So for the audience, what we're talking about is, so Bob had a cam and cam plate and oil pump put in by the Harley certified mechanic dealership, which theoretically with an oil sumping issue, they could try to say that the installation of that is causing the oil sumping issue, which is bullshit, but they can say it because you're talking about internal parts.
Correct.
And you're the one that's going to have to fight it regardless of Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act, and Harley has lots of time and attorneys and money. So it's going to fall on the consumer to try to prove that that didn't do it. So now Hattie Dad and Screaming Eagle parts, of course, because they don't oil sump. We're teasing, but Hattie Dad and Screaming Eagle parts, then technically your warranty stays intact. There's a lot more to that, but feel free to jump in there. But so they didn't plug the ECM into the computer, which would have threw a flag to the Harley mothership computer that that bike had non-Screaming Eagle stuff and had work done to it outside of the parameters of the warranty. Is that said well?
Yes.
Okay. Without getting in the weeds.
Deep in the weeds. Yeah, and then he was, I believe that the Harley, our local Harley rep, came out to take a look at it prior to doing a warranty thing. And our local tech said, if he sees that blue cam plate, he's going to not like that. And I said, well, I've still got the old one. Let's put the old one in and let's play their game.
Nice.
The S&S oil pump and cam plate are far superior to Harley Davidson's in my mind. They flow more oil. They've got magnets in them. The cam plate's stiffer. That's important. And they're blue. They're cool.
Yeah, we did an S&S on Popeye's bike. We agree. So you did take and put your old cam. Did you do that?
I gave the
Okay.
I gave the factory stuff back to our tech. He installed it. I believe the rep came and looked at it and documented it. I'm assuming. I don't know what they do. I didn't get that information exactly. When we were done, our tech decided, I don't like the S&S oil pump. There's nothing wrong with the Harley oil pump, but the cam plate's superior. So I have a blue cam plate and a stock oil pump.
Okay.
Doesn't bother me except for the $400 and some I paid for the.
Right. It's a good wall ornament.
And it's on the floor of my garage.
Anybody need one?
Yeah.
Get in the private Facebook group. Maybe Bob will sell it to you for a good price. I don't know.
I'll sell you the 2021.
There you go. Yeah, no doubt.
It's a good pump, I guess.
Okay. Well, there you go. So so I'm just trying to keep track of it all. So they do that. The rep's going to come look at it, but how much oil did he pull from the crank position sensor when he pulled that?
I didn't get the exact amount. I was just told that it was indeed sumping.
Okay. So it was an excess. So the tech was familiar with that. So now they call a Harley rep where I've never heard about this. Where does the rep come from?
I think they do a tri-state.
Okay.
Or it could be tri-state, Idaho, Alaska.
Okay.
If I'd try to get Hawaii thrown in too, man.
No shit. He's he's the big wig though.
Yeah.
That's running around before they dump $4,000 into repairs, basically to make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. And it's not like a friend trying to just fix somebody's bike or something.
At that point in time, it was getting a little frustrating because we were like a month and a half into during the riding season, closing out. And
tried to give you a bike. I tried to give you one.
I really appreciate that too.
I know.
You guys rock.
You're too humble.
Yeah.
You're too humble. I had extra bikes here. Anyways. Yeah. So a month and a half into this, that's BS. And why it's taken so long. Did it take extra time to get the rep down here? Is that?
They were dealing with Harley Davidson and
the mothership.
Yeah, because they were trying to warranty it, but they were calling it a recall. I didn't ask. I didn't care.
Right.
They were on my side.
Okay.
Our local Harley dealership. Anyways, going back just a tiny bit, they were having to follow, and I was told several times by the mechanic that I have to go by Harley Davidson protocol no matter what. I mean, it doesn't matter. But one of the engine builders that I talked to, he said the very first thing you do if you have sumping is you do a leak down test. And you want to see, where are my notes here? You don't want more than on a healthy new engine, you'll get a 5% leak down. And you check it through this spark plug. And you have an air compressor and it's got 2 dials and you run it up to 100 pounds on one, goes into the green, which is 0, green, yellow, red. Green goes up to 5% or possibly a little higher. I'm not sure. Mine was at 50%.
What is this trying to tell you?
That you're having a leak down. You either have poor rings
thank you.
Or a valve not seating.
Gotcha. Leak down makes sense. Okay.
If the rings aren't sealing and you'll pull your oil thing you'll pull your oil dipstick and it'll go pss, pss,
air will push out of there.
Air will go past the rings into the crank and you can hear it coming out the
filler
through the crank.
Yeah.
If it's valves, if it's an intake valve, you'll hear it come out through the air cleaner. If it's an exhaust valve, you'll hear it come out the exhaust. Duh. I didn't get any information on that. And it was 2.5 months in before I said, did you guys do a leak down test on that? And they looked at me like, what? They said, you want a leak down test? And I go, yeah.
I actually want my bike back. That's really, I don't care what you do. Why were they sitting, do you think, on all this?
Part of it, I think there was 3 things. I'll talk about 2 of them. One of them was they're waiting on the mothership. The other is they are short on help.
Okay.
The third one, let it go.
Okay.
Can't do anything about it.
So they didn't do a leak down test, and now you're telling them, are they going to do a leak down test or what?
I asked them if they did a leak down test, and they said no, and they just kind of looked at me like, you're a painter? Why are you knowing about that kind of stuff, and why does it matter? I said, well, because if you have an engine that's sumping and you're not totally rebuilding it, that's the very first thing you do is find out what broke or what's causing the sumping.
Right. If you know it's not the leak down, then you know it's the oil pump and the typical issue that we've been talking about, right?
Correct.
It's process of elimination. It's an investigation.
Yeah, and they would have found out right away that I never found out if it was valves or rings, but I believe it was both being at 50%. And we were seeing...
so they did do a leak down test?
After I requested it.
Eventually you conned them into
2.5 months into them holding on to my bike.
Okay. Were you there when they did the leak down? Mm-hmm. So, okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure I was following here.
The guy that did the leak down test was not the tech. It was another guy that we're not going to talk about.
Okay.
And either he didn't know how to determine what was leaking down, or he didn't think it was important to tell me, or he didn't think I could comprehend it.
Okay.
So,
but you're clearly have an issue here with rings or something.
Yeah, I would assume that if it's sumping and keeping the oil down the bottom of the motor, it's not getting it up where it needs to be. Is that correct?
The tech at the very end of the process said it was due to overpressurized crank, which would be the rings. Because the valves would go either out the exhaust or out the intake. But I was getting some oil in my intake manifold with an external breather after I did my crank, or after I did my cam. So that tells me that I had a valve problem too. Intake valve. And we were seeing some build up on the intake valves or on the valve stems.
Yeah.
So that tells me that there was massive problem, which is why Harley ended up.
You got a lemon, bro.
Yeah, and so my question is the rings and valves going out a condition of the sumping, or or did you just have all this going on at once?
Right. Good question, Lurch.
I'm kind of curious about it because in my head, I'm thinking, okay, oil something, it's staying down low, your pump's not able to pick it up. I would assume that the top end's not getting the lubrication that it needs. And then you're just going to start having issues with rings. Am I wrong?
You could get too much lubrication on the bottom of the pistons, which while they're overheating is going to glaze them, which causes the rings not to seat, which causes blow by because the rings aren't seating.
Right.
There's a third problem that can cause sumping too, and it's stuck open oil cooler jets that spray oil up on the bottom of your pistons. Those have been known to stick, and I believe they're plastic. I couldn't get our tech to do anything about that or check him because he said, I ain't breaking the case.
Yeah.
So I dropped it.
And the oil sumping, to tie that up, can be a causation of the aforementioned. If you catch oil sumping early, you can, but if you let it go or it doesn't get fixed, or you're in the process of trying to figure out if it's something and you're adding a lot of oil, you can cause a lot of other damage.
Overpressure.
Exponentially destroy your engine.
Right. That's the long-term effects of letting oil sumping go in the process of trying to figure out that it's going on. Because some people have had some oil sumping, caught it early, the mechanics did everything they were supposed to do, bam, new oil pump, fix it, not sumping anymore. And I have heard of those too. So
on a pre-2020?
I don't remember the exact years. That was probably pre-2020, right?
They developed the new oil pump because the old one was
was a causation. Yeah.
I don't know if it was causing sumping, but it was causing something.
Right.
Could have been just overheating.
Right. Okay. All right, let's do this real quick. We got a lot more to talk about. This is a great episode. This is going to be helpful for people.
Ride longer and treat your ass with some respect already.
Oh, my ass, Bob.
Get hooked up with a premium butt buffer seat cushion. This company of bikers developed a super thin hospital-grade seat cushion made of solid and elastic materials, and it's unlike gel pads that'll leak if punctured. The butt buffer, designed not to slide around your seat, fits all motorcycles and stalls in seconds, easily cleans, and helps dampen those damn vibrations. With plenty of miles to choose from, they assure you'll have a comfortable ass when riding. Head over to the law-abiding biker store and check out our full line of butt buffers.
He's trying not to look at me.
I can't look at you because you usually have such a dumb look on your face, like you're so proud of what you're saying. Like, oh, I'm gonna get him.
Oh my God, dude, it's so true. Good times. All right, so yeah, don't leave home without the butt buffer. I'll be rocking that. Going to be doing a lot of riding this year, especially our East Coast trip. I will not forget it, Lurch.
Good.
Like I have in the past.
Our long trip last year, you forgot it.
It sucked my ass.
Well, it's good to remind you, how they actually work quite well.
Totally. It was a good reminder that I will not leave home without that. All right. So now just we're doing the leak down. Clearly you got some issues. We're 2 months plus into this ordeal. And where are we going from here? You got the rep. He came down and he put the holy water. Did he have the holy water thing and the incense and smoke it and all that and give the blessing to the mechanic?
I think it was tequila.
Okay, well, good enough.
No, our mechanic doesn't drink. He's clean and sober. So.
He is for many, many years.
Yes. Very good. Better man than me.
Yeah. Better man than Lurch for sure.
Oh, I quit drinking during the week.
Once a day.
He's been a whole week.
Really? Look, I got water right here.
The other week, I'm like, I thought you were dry during the week. He's like, I'm going to just have a beer. Or no, we have something going on tonight. We have an event.
Well, it was Friday. Fridays and Saturdays.
Okay.
Wednesday is the traditional drinking night for contractors.
What night?
Wednesday.
Okay.
Because most things are figured out Monday,
you know
Tuesday,
what, Lurch is?
What?
Yeah.
There must be a reason to explain.
Good, yeah.
I have no idea.
No, he just drinks. He
I
just
figured
partakes.
'cause, all the shit
I'm an
probably piled up over the
overachiever.
weekend. And so by Wednesday, most things have worked themselves out, I guess.
So Lurch just figured
Good to know.
his whole thing is, well, I'm going to be really healthy. So he's not drinking during the week. But then he thinks because he didn't drink in the week, he binge drinks on the weekends and he can make up for everything he didn't get to drink during the week. Well, that's not how it works.
Whatever, you're making shit up.
Get drunk once a week for all week? Or?
Yeah, right. Just for it's like a 12-hour binge. All right.
Right on.
Anyways, I got to bust his chops. Where are we at?
My show notes have ended because I didn't get a whole heck of a lot of information about what happened, why it happened. I kept my mouth shut because at the 2.5 month mark, when I asked him to do the leak down test, we were golden on Harley's replacing everything.
So they got word back from the mothership that the claim had been accepted, and from the rep that came down and gave tequila or whatever you said he did.
I think he splashed it on there because
just
I had some weird deposits or something
did
on
you
it.
lick it off?
You start with the least aggressive method of taking it off, which would not been spit from a painter.
So let me ask, what all was replaced then on your bike? Let's see, you got a list right
The
here.
entire upper end, cylinders, heads, pistons.
Complete upper engine.
Yeah.
Wow.
They gave a price tag for that?
It just says right here, warranty, warranty.
Zero.
Zero, right?
Zero, yeah.
I didn't know if they would give you an overall what it costs.
No, but on my transmission it did, and it was like $2,600 in parts.
Yeah. That's not labor. That's just parts
That was a brand new inner transmission.
with proper bolts.
Did
Did it come with proper bolts?
Well, the other guy in the factory, they know who did that because it's a union shop, and they do that all day. I know who did it on my bike, so it's the same guy, the same clean and sober, awesome mechanic.
Yep.
He's a good guy. Did a really good job on everything he's ever worked on my bike, and he's even fixed the stuff that I've broke. I've never had to trailer it down there after breaking it, but it's pretty close.
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't find out exactly what the cause was. I don't think they knew exactly what the cause was. The symptoms were there. It was actually doing it. I didn't see if the Cylinders were glazed, that could have possibly led to it. I didn't see broken rings or worn out rings. I didn't get to see any of that. I didn't ask because I wasn't having to pay for anything.
Yep.
And I was a little frustrated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I took it in there on August 5th, and I think I picked it up on October or something.
Frickin' riding season, bro.
I struggled to get in.
Horse shit.
And then I had a 500-mile break-in. I don't know. They didn't even tell me I needed to break it in, but I figured I do. I need to break it in. So because it's the rings that you're breaking in.
Write it like you stole it. You want it to fill in those first 500, so they have to redo it again. Just saying. I'm just saying, bro.
No, I think
that's my mythology, dude. Methodology.
I think I was past warranty, and I had voided the warranty.
Well, no, there's a new warranty on the work they did on the top end. You'll always have a workmanship. So,
really?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Because if the bike fails within the first 500 and they did the top end and they show that something happened with a ring or then that could clearly be said to be their work if you hadn't done anything to the bike.
Right.
Yes. I mean, there would be a maintenance, I would think, some sort of.
I did not get that information, and I asked them about it when my transmission blew, and the service writer didn't know, and
not saying it'd be easy, but it's a causation of the original problem, right? Because now the mechanic went in and fixed. Clearly, Harley said it's an issue. They fixed it. It didn't get fixed properly, and now you got something wrong with the valve, and your bike's not running. That would be a continuation of the first problem.
Right.
I think I've had that with vehicles before, so
absolutely.
It would be the same.
And it may take you an attorney to get there,
maybe.
But our local dealerships, in my experience, has done pretty well with that type of work. But we've heard horror stories around the nation.
Yes.
Where, guys take their bike and they're like, sorry, it's out of warranty. And then they have to get an attorney to get it fixed.
I think mine was out of warranty by a couple of weeks. Maybe. I don't know. Does your warranty start when you write a check or when you put your leg over the saddle? Because I purchased my bike. I wrote a check in July and didn't get the bike till
I think it's when you take possession of it.
August.
Like delivery date?
Yeah. Sometime in August is when it came in.
I'm almost 100% positive on that.
Yeah.
That warranty started. It does all my electronic stuff too. It doesn't start till you get it and activate. So from the time they gave the blessing to go ahead and fix this to riding out of the shop, what are we talking?
2 weeks and 1 day.
Okay. So once they got the parts came easy, apparently, because 2 weeks isn't that bad.
Probably the rep has a trailer hauling those parts.
Right.
He knows what's going on. He's talked to the rep.
Yep.
Or he's talked to the tech, He brings the tequila and the parts and they do their thing.
Interestingly, there's talking about whether it's a recall or warranty, reading a lot of stuff. Hardy's in a, like you said up front, they're not really calling it or admitting it's a problem. There's a lot of legal mumbo jumbo in that. And whether you have to admit something's, needs replacement, it costs companies millions of dollars. Obviously this would be, but they are, and even though your bike was out of warranty, I have heard of that before, where although the bike's, it's not necessarily a warranty issue, they are aware. And if you've read all the stuff, when we did our episode and researched that, is that they will recall it if certain criteria are met. But it's not, and the attorneys, and they were able to stay out of a complete, right? Like the recalls where they send it to you, hey, Ford has a headlight issue, everybody gets it replaced because it's a safety issue. This, they were able to stay out. So they will, that's what they did in your case. It sounds like obviously you're out of warranty, but they found enough evidence to call it a recall based on the oil coming out. And
that's how they still deny sumping. Because when my bike was put together the day before I picked it up, the tech called me and said, your bike's ready, come pick it up. And I said, well, it's 4:00 on a Friday. I'm drinking, bro. I'm not coming down.
Right.
Oh, he told me they still denied sumping, right? On his last conversation with them.
No, they won't say it's sumping. They have a protocol to be fair. I know we're talking about this. And the reason they did that, and we talked about this in our episode, is, and I'm not defending Harley, that's not at all what I'm doing here. They should be taking care of these issues without as much as you had to go through. But with that said, this is not like every Milwaukee-Eight. Like there's more running and running fine and not having this issue than are having this issue. When you do have the issue, it's shit and it sucks. I can tell you, we have police bikes that get run harder than, we abuse the piss out of those. And we've had multiple, and even my new bike is a Milwaukee-Eight, and we thought we had a sumping issue, but we didn't. It was a leak that should have been found. But we have had zero sumping issues. And I know Popeye has them. All our friends we ride cross country with, none of them have had a sumping issue. Matt Haywood, another patron member, had a sumping issue, right? Did you talk to him in the private Facebook group? So
no, I didn't, but his engine was shot.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it came on rapidly and he was 100 miles from home or what happened.
Yeah. And I need to get I know most of the story at the time, but I got my brain purges stuff. But so just so you guys know, and a lot of you out there listening are like, I've had a Milwaukee-Eight since they came out and mine's fine. So some of it has to do with your riding too. It definitely rears its head more. We've talked about it. If you're riding high RPM, long distance, because it has time to froth and it has time. If you're just riding weekend, you might not notice it, even though you could have it. But what Bob said is it didn't matter. So take that with a grain of salt too. From what I heard you say, it didn't matter if it was far or long.
It didn't seem to matter. And It was something that was getting worse and worse.
Right. Okay. A lot of information. We're going to do a roundtable here and try to clean up any loose ends right after we do this. Are you searching for the easiest and quickest detachable luggage system for your motorcycle? Rick Rack has just what you're looking for. Forget all those frustrating straps and bungee cords that can come loose and stop your paint. Check out one of Rick Rack's awesome quick detach strapless luggage rack systems. This father-son team designed something really special. You can't find it anywhere else. Yep. And these guys ride, so they truly understand the needs of bikers. The Rick Rack quick attach system is strong, durable, and secure with a lockable system. Also, check out their full line of quality touring bags to accompany your quick detach system. Once you use Rick Rack, you'll never go back.
Rick Rack.
What are you waiting for, bike holics? Head over to the Law Abiding Biker Store and check out our full line of Rick Rack systems and bags. Been selling those units, and I know everybody that's getting them is really enjoying them. That's a true statement. Once you use Rick Rack, you will never go back. Guarantee it. Kind of like the butt buffer. Once you have that, you'll never go back. And if you do, you will suffer like I did on a trip when I forgot it. So let's do a round table here to make sure we, to make sure we covered everything. You have the bike now, and you got it out October, going right into the winter. So I don't know how much time you've had to ride it.
I put 500 mile break-in type miles on it and 100 miles after break-in. It runs awesome. I haven't done another sump test on it. Okay. I was told that they did a sump test after completion and 2 ounces came out.
Okay.
Which is
did they go ride it for 300 miles or just short? Right. So you're going to find out. You're going to be pending, right?
The technician goes from the shop out to the canyon exit, turns around and comes back. That's his test ride.
Yep.
12 miles.
Right. Which is pretty standard for techs.
Yeah.
Because they got other bikes to work on, but that's not going to actually test oil sumping. It'll test if there's anything immediate. You're going to have to, I think you're going to find out, like I said, long distance. If it were me, I'd take that thing on a weekend trip and I'd run it 1 gear low. I'd run it 1 gear low and run your RPMs high down the freeway, Spokane, around on a hot day, back, and don't take a lot of breaks. And that'll tell you whether it's going to sump.
I'm going to need the butt buffer.
You are going to need the butt buffer for sure. Yeah. I hope it's fixed for you, brother. But obviously you're not going to find out till next season when you start touring on it.
It runs so much nicer than it did. Even before when I got the cam put in, there was a noticeable difference.
Right.
And when I put the header and the new exhaust on there, it was cooler. I mean, those things made a noticeable difference. When I put the 500 miles on at, low varying RPMs and then got to the 100 miles of let's go, oh my gosh, there was a big difference. So I had been sumping for a long time.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Well, that puts it in perspective. Yeah.
I'm
So
confident.
long before you were sumping long before it came to your mind that you were sumping. Yeah.
Yep.
So hopefully this episode helps you guys out there. If you're experiencing kind of what Bob experienced, those are the early signs. The best thing, and then we'll do kind of and if you have any follow-up questions, Lurch, please. What I would say to you, as you've learned in this episode and I've learned, is from Bob, is be educated. Number one, go back, look at episode 250. Lurch is going to have to do some copious notes on this episode the best we can. The way I did them on the other episodes is I listened to it and I just made, because we had some. So we're going to do, these are important issues. So we're going to do above and beyond on our show notes on these issues. But listen to episode 250. Obviously, listen to this episode. You can read the literature. We're going to talk about the leak down test. Lurch is going to get so that you have it. So what I'm getting at, the dealership necessarily isn't going to be extremely helpful for you on this. Not all dealerships, and it'll vary from mechanic to mechanic. It's going to vary from dealership to dealership. It's going to vary greatly how quick they get in touch with the mothership. But like anything, you got to be educated on it. And as you saw, Bob had to educate the dealership on the leak down test. There's a way to do that. So I'm not here to tell you how to talk to people, especially if they have a type A personality and think they know it all, how you present what they have done and haven't done. But I would go armed and have a plan and say, hey, here's the deal. It's nice to know yourself. Like if I was sumping or thought I was sumping, if it wouldn't have been a police bike, those are covered and we don't just take it in. But I would have brought it home and pulled the crank position sensor and checked myself. I'm not saying that's the best thing to do because now you're going to have to get it to do it again because the dealer needs to see that. The mechanic is going to they actually have to take a picture of it and the bike and the VIN, and they take and show how much. I mean, there's a whole talking to them, a whole process they have to submit to the mothership. Again, it's the process of elimination, and they're going to get the information that they need. There's a very strict, if you look in the SIP, there's a protocol on what the dealer has to do and what the mechanic has to do to get the mothership to buy off, to get the guy with the tequila to come down.
And it was frustrating for the technician.
Yes.
I'm sure.
It was very frustrating for the technician.
Because he knows it's something already and he could just fix it like that. But they got to get the money, right?
Correct. Another issue I didn't mention that could possibly cause something is excessive crank run out destroying your oil pump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then your oil pump is not pumping properly.
Yeah.
So yeah, that could be another issue.
So I'm looking at Matt Haywood's post, and he put a nice long one in the Patron only Facebook group if you're a member and want to read that. But it's interesting looking at what he had going on and what you experienced. And so far, I don't know that we can point our finger at any particular one problem that's causing this. Am I correct? I mean,
No, there can be a lot of things.
Sure.
But I will say the causation was the oil pump for a lot of years pre-20. Mm-hmm. That has fixed a ton of bikes. And that's why when you do a cam, you just upgrade your oil pump and all that anyways. But
not necessary on a 2020 plus.
Right, on a 2020 plus. Right.
Correct.
The oil pump, right, because they changed
necessary.
it.
I mean, there's advantages to the new to an aftermarket pump. I mean, it flows like 30% more.
Right.
I don't know. And
if you're doing the cam anyways, but yes.
Got a magnet in it.
Right.
The cam plate's stiffer, which is better.
Stiffer's always better.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I've been told.
I get that a lot of work.
No, it's true. They redesigned it in 21, and we talked about that on our episode because they're obviously aware it's an issue. But I'm just saying, and again, there are so many of you out there listening that just be aware of it, that are you have your Milwaukee-Eight, it's fine, but you still could have a 21 plus like you had, and you could still, because there's so many things that can cause it. But with that said, the biggest thing that I'll say is check your oil. It's so simple. If your oil, like we had a police bike that was constantly needing to add oil and it's only got like 10,000 on it. Okay. That's an issue. don't just keep adding oil. Realize the first thing you should look at there. Number one, what did I look for? Where are you parking that thing? Where's all the oil? And then start looking around your bike. Just to tie this episode up. So we took it in. They took a sample, only 2 ounces coming out. And I'm like, this bike has like a quart. The younger guy that was, it's like a quart and a half more. I'm like, okay, stop. We gotta, so I'm thinking sumping, right? I mean, telltale sign of sumping. We can't find the oil anywhere. Well, took it in, they send it back. Nope, it's not sumping. Can't do anything about it. I go, okay, well, we'll just keep riding it. Well, did some further inspection of my own. Yeah. Oil cooler hose leaking.
Crimp. Yeah.
But it wasn't leaking on the ground. It's just blowing back the entire time. So the whole bottom of the motor, all up in there, caked with oil. But you had to kind of get underneath and look. So I brought it out here to the Law Abiding Biker Shop. They allowed me to do that. And we put a new oil line on it, and it's been fine.
I think I've heard those failing. I think it's the clamp.
It is the clamp.
It is. It's been a known issue for a long time. Yeah. On the right side. And they'll tell you that. I told them, yeah.
Is it it's not a ring screw.
It's
clamp.
a cramp.
No.
Yeah.
You can replace it with a, what do they call them? A snake clamp or worm clamp?
Yeah.
Pipe clamp.
Where the worm clamp is what he calls them down there at the dealership. But we just bought the original. It's that, those, I forget what they call them, but you can also just go to the hardware store and just grab a worm clamp. They actually work better a lot of times.
But you got to replace the hose.
We did,
because it's split. Is that can that be bought at an auto parts store, or is it a formed?
We bought the hose at the dealership. It is
because
somewhat curved.
Bike.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. It's all covered.
Right.
But yeah, so we thought it was something. It wasn't. That was another issue. But when you're, all the other things are signs and symptoms. But if your oil is low and you have to keep adding it, then you got to stop. Unless it's old and you can see that you're burning some oil.
If you're not leaking it or burning it.
Yeah, if you're not burning it, and you would know if you're burning as much oil as we were putting in that thing, you would be like blowing white smoke. And then he started getting blowback, of course. And then I'm thinking, oh, it's definitely something, right? Because now, even though it's just interesting, finally it got saturated enough in there. He goes, the other day I did see a couple drops. And then we started investigating. And then we found, because it's blowing and it's just caking up there with all, how it gets.
Yeah, it wasn't a major leak, but it was enough to just dribble and spray, and it just wasn't. Yeah, it was caking along.
Caking
the bike.
on cake.
Yeah, it's just the cake on the cake. So it took a while for it to have enough cake.
Yeah, right.
For it to fall down to the ground.
Before the cake was saturated.
Yeah.
It was probably more aerodynamic.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was.
Everything else was sealed up from the cake. Lurch, do you have any follow-up? Let's do a roundtable. I pretty much gave what I think. I think go educated and use your resources here. We tried to help here at Law Abiding Biker Media. That's why I want. Thanks, Bob, for being on. Thanks for sitting down with us, because it's personal experience. So
thanks for having me out here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good to do it more often.
I think you said it pretty well earlier that it is something that can happen, but it's not happening to everybody. It's obviously not happening enough that they're going to recall anything. So you need to be aware of it, be educated. If all of a sudden, your power starting to go away, you've got excessive blowback, and your fuel mileage, your temperature on your motor is going way up. I mean, that's when Matt's went. His was caused by something else, but when his temperatures went through the roof too. So just really pay attention to your bike, know what's going on. If you have the problem and you have to take it to a dealership, educate yourself so that you can make sure they do all the tests, the blow by and the sumping test and all that. Yep.
Inquire and try to move them along faster than Bob got it done the best he can. But this is not unique to this dealership, by the way.
No, it's difficult. Once you get to the point where you've got to get approval to get a warranty done, that can take some time usually, because
on top of lack of mechanics or whatever else is going on.
Part of the problem was they just don't have the manpower.
Right. One certified Harley mechanic, and nobody else can touch that. Like other guys can do oil changes, and crap like that, and non-tech, but a tech has to do that, and he's buried.
There's 2 guys I missed down there.
Yeah. Yep.
One retired, and one, I don't know what he did, but I wish he'd come back.
Yeah. I think he's running a shop or his own or something.
I don't know.
Yeah. Steve was awesome too. Yeah.
Yeah, he retired.
Yeah, he retired. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good guy.
I've seen him since. Yeah.
Yeah. I see him riding his old bike
Yeah,
around.
I know. He rides that old bike still, dude.
You should loan him one of yours.
I know. He won't take him. He worked at a Harley shop his whole life and he won't get a new bike. Oh, Steve, he's funny.
What for? Probably runs really good.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, with that said, anything else? Otherwise, we're going to take it out of here, guys. Now, we love our patron members. We have a patron member here right in the studio, Bikers Helping Bikers. But, we want to get to know you better. Watching the private Facebook group, want to get you all the benefits that we can get you. But for whatever reason, if you want to support us strictly through a flat donation, then we never balk. At a flat donation, I want to thank the following people. If you want to go, Bob, first three.
Russell Teal of Spokane, Washington. Harry Runsky of Ashburn, Virginia. Patrick Matt of Ridge Springs, South Carolina.
Jeremy Davis of Jackson Center, Ohio. Ryan Lambert of Shipshewana, Indiana. And he made a substantial donation and also left a message that I really enjoy your content and videos. Also love the podcast. Keep it coming. Happy New Year. Thank you, Ryan. And Mike Allen of Colorado Springs, Colorado.
And a lot of the donations that we're putting in there too, a lot of flat donations, but you can also support us. Some of these folks actually left a tip, right, Lurch?
Yeah.
Via a donation. Mm-hmm. When you buy stuff, it's amazing that you guys are coming to our store. Just a bunch of bikers trying to help bikers, and that helps support our mission to do that. And so guys are buying stuff in our store online, the Law Abiding Biker store, and they're leaving a tip via a donation. And that is humbling, amazing. I have to wrap my head around that a lot of times when Lurch tells me that, because he's handling a lot of the store right now, that I don't necessarily see it till I see this, till we're thanking here on the podcast donations. So thanks all of you that left in that form of leaving us a tip after purchasing in our store. Unbelievable. Amazing. Awesome. All right. Lurch, we got a call to action here as we take it out. Let's see. What do we want to do? I haven't done this in a while, guys. There's another New Year's resolution is get hooked up with the Biker Gripper guys. We still sell. I need another word besides bejesus.
We sell a metric shit ton of them.
There you go. What's a metric shit ton, Bob?
More than a bejeebas.
Nice.
You guys are ramping up sales, it sounds like.
Yeah, we're doing okay. It's been, the economy's tough right now, but
the language has changed.
Yeah, the language has changed. If you need a cell phone or GPS motorcycle mount solution, guys, the Biker Gripper, you've all heard of it. Get it. There is no better. We actually put it up against the Quad Lock. We've got some others we're going to put it up against. We're trying to find the competition. But sexiest, sleekest, strongest cell phone and GPS motorcycle mount on the market. Use it to mount your cell phone, GPS device, radar detectors, EFI tuners, toll transponders, and much more. Tried and tested right here by the Law Abiding Biker crew. Believe in it so much we stamped our logo right on it. We use it on our venture bikes too. I was just editing the documentary for Death Valley, and we were going off-road on our street bikes through Death Valley, and the Biker Gripper's in there just handling it like a champ. Of course, along with my Olean suspension. That made that ride a lot more enjoyable. But you can choose from several different models. We've got black or chrome universal bar mounts for different sizes, and perch mount for your control cluster there. We've always got them in stock. Those ship out lickety-split.
That's quick.
Quick, Bob said. Thanks, Bob, for being here.